Yeah, let's get it.
Welcome to the David Bailey Athletics Center. Liam Dunlopoulos, I'm Masood Nazer. The 15-1 Lady Mountaineers take on the 9-7 Lady Bruins of Sheridan. And Masood, what do you think the keys of the game are for Mohawk?
Man, this is an exciting game, but one of the major keys is shutting down Sheridan Saunders. This girl is their top scorer, and I feel like if they shut them down, they have a good chance of winning this game right now.
Definitely. So what are the keys for the Sheridan, as Mountaineers are now on a 15-game win streak, and how are they going to stop that?
It all starts with their two best players. You've got Steph Rymack, one of the best players in the OCAA, along with Jen Genobella, who's actually coming off the bench in this game, which is quite surprising, given her the amazing game she's been having. But as long as they stop those two players, they'll have a good chance of winning this game.
As you can see on the screen, Sheridan, 56 points per game, not the best, as Mohawk averages about 73. 30% is average. Rebounds per game, 45 again. And the assists per game, 10.3. They're going to really have to work on that, Masood. They have to pass the ball a lot more.
Especially with Mohawk when it comes to defensive turnovers. You know, they get the 75.2 points a game. Their field goal percentage at 36%, just a little bit higher than Sheridan's. Yeah. But you know, they definitely do their thing when it comes to that. They could work on their three-point percentage. They're not very good in that department. But again, free throws, they are improving. That's the main thing. And rebounds, absolutely key in this game, especially with the three Sheridan players averaging almost 8 rebounds a game, which is absolutely huge in this game. So I feel like if they win the rebounding battle, they're going to win this game.
As you can also see, assists per game, 7 more than Sheridan, which is massive. We're just about to start out here. Can we get the starters for Mohawk?
Yeah, definitely. We got Rochelle Abella, we got Caitlin Arbor, Jaquela Dowd, Steph Rymack, and the Brittany Gonzola. Just the typical 5 starters for Mohawk.
And starting for the Bruins?
For the Bruins, you got Danique Campbell, their second leading scorer coming off. You got Paige Holdsworth, Samantha Lovat, Mirika Azar, and Sheridan Saunders, their top scorer.
Yeah, Sheridan Saunders, 19.1 points per game, which is huge, but shooting an average of 23 shots per game, and that's a lot, especially when she's only hitting 30%.
Exactly, and that's the whole thing. It all comes down to the fact that she's going to be one of those good players that's going to be playing on a bad team. So a look for her to do a lot of scoring in this game.
So coming into this game, Mohawk is second in the OCAA and the OCAA West, while the Sheridan Women's are tied for 5th in the OCAA West. So going into nationals, Mohawk really needs to push forward and get in that top 10.
Again, they're 15-1. There's not too much improvement they have to do, especially, but they did come off that tough, really close overtime win the other night, and they feel like they got to really push the pedal and score early and often in this game.
We're underway. Dow's taking it against Azar. Dow's wins the jump. That goes to Rachel Abella. Left side, Rymack thought about it, gives back to Abella. Gonzola all the way around, Rymack. A lot of passing going on here, wasting a lot of shot clock. Rymack for 3. That's too strong. Gets her own rebound. Taken down by Caitlin Arbor. Good work by her. Gonzola, right side, Abella. A lot of movement inside. Rymack left side. Inside Dow's. Dow's takes her dribbles. Abella corner 3. That's too strong again. And that's a good rebound there by Holdsworth.
That was some great defensive work there by Sheridan. They really did the battles there.
Driving baseline there is Azar, and she misses short. Abella's running. They got numbers. Rymack thought about it again. Abella inside. Arbor got slapped. I could hear that. Gives it to Gonzola. She travels.
In that situation there, you can't just step before you dribble. You're gonna have to make sure you actually get your dribble down before you take your steps.
Very strong defensive set again by the Bruins, as they're playing more of a box inside the box. They're allowing them to take the threes, but nothing so far. Still 0-0.
Right.
So taken away by Arbor. Gonzola up top. She's going to finish with the right hand. Nice pass by Rymack.
Perfect example of pushing the turnovers and getting it out on offense right there.
Azar going to give it up. Point guard Saunders. Again, we said leading scorer, but takes a lot of shots. Lovat. Campbell takes it. Great defense, but nice cut to the basket. And that's a nice little layup by Lovat.
Yeah, that was a great play. Took the pick, took the roll. Awesome play by there. Here comes Rymack.
Rymack tries a floater air ball. Big rebound by Azar. Coach wants him to run. The coach, Willie DeLay, has been here for 23 years in Sheridan.
And looking at that, you know you're doing something right if you're coaching for 23 years. I'm 23 years old. Let's look at that for a second.
Couple dribbles. Take a shot by Campbell. She misses. Douse loses the rebound. And that's Azar, the big on this team, pulling it down. Nice stop, pop, and drop by Campbell. Nothing but net.
Yeah.
Ojabella up. 1-2 step. Arbor misses. Strong rebound by Saunders.
I feel like in this game, Jaquela Douse, their top rebounder, she has to do a lot of work to get, especially over these bigs here.
Precisely. Campbell takes a couple dribbles, gives it out. Azar, she misses. Nice hustle there. Holdsworth, but Lovac cannot finish the easy 3-foot jumper. Again, pushing the pace of the Mountaineers. Abella, left side. Primac. Seems a lot of passing outside around the horn. Right side to Bella. We got to get it inside. There she goes. Gazzola takes a difficult shot, tries to bank it in. That's too strong.
They're doing a lot of 3-2 zone right now. That's how they're getting all these rebounds.
But Primac with a nice steal there. They're back underway. Gazzola, that should be a foul, but no call. But then Gazzola finishes with the right.
It's a great little push off there by Gonzola and actually taking her time finding the basket.
Gaining
Great
space,
play.
exactly. Lovat inside. Lovat chucks one up, floater on the baseline.
Play, yeah.
Another hustle. Gazzola's coming back.
Those girls just getting transition bucket after transition bucket. It's great to see because they weren't doing that in their last game, so it's great to see them improve on that.
Using the speed advantage that we've seen early. 6-4 for Mohawk. 6 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Foul there. Going to be on Gazzola. The low pass. She went down to get it. She bumped knees. Group substitution. 3 on, 3 off for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I got Katrina Brown and Jen Janabella coming off the bench.
Portia Hewitt as well.
I'm going to take a look at a foul coming up here on the replay.
As you saw, she lost the possession. Bang knees. It was kind of a soft foul.
In that situation, you know, when the referee sees someone goes down, you almost have to call a foul.
Inbound. That's going to be called a kick ball there on Abella.
It looked a little unintentional as it just kind of rolled off her ankle.
It was a good idea trying to cut back door and trying to get the easy layup off the inbound.
Right.
Again, Campbell's inbound. Try to do it again, and she does. This time to Holdsworth. Holdsworth floats it up with the left hand. She misses. Hewitt gets it. That's a travel. You cannot get up.
Ooh.
When you have your knee on the ground, you cannot
That's right,
pick
yeah.
it up. Another inbound to come. Same spot, same play.
Wide open 3, no good.
That's too strong. Again, Saunders likes to shoot the ball. There's Campbell for 3, and she drains it. Nice looking shot there by Campbell.
Yeah, Campbell's their second leading scorer off for the starters there. So I mean, expect her to score a lot in this game.
Doesn't take too many threes. Takes about 1 per game.
Yeah.
But
so I guess we won't see her shoot.
Yeah.
I guess she won't be shooting again, right?
If I was 1 for 1 from 3 when I used to play, I was not a 3-point threat. If I got 1 in, I would just take the 100% percentage for the season. Brown inside, she was calling for it. They're gonna say that's off of Lovat.
Yeah.
You got to get that ball into Brown sooner because that's a wide open layup. Gazzola inbounds. Janabella for 3. That's a beautiful stroke, but outside. Good fight for the rebound. Gazzola takes it. She gets it back. Fakes the shot. Cuts baseline. Too strong. Gets her own rebound. She misses. And taken down by Holdsworth. Good defense.
Yeah, Sheridan's actually holding her own on the defensive end. It's great to see that.
Sheridan has a 3-point lead, 9-6. And they're going to call it offensive foul.
Nope, that's it.
One ref was about to call offensive foul with his fist, but the other ref came in and overpowered that, and that's going to be an and 1. That's going to be on Gazzola, so that's her second foul.
It looks like the outside ref might have thought she might have been in the restricted area.
That's definitely a possibility. So Jessica Grant will take out Gazzola because now she is in foul trouble with 2.
Yeah.
Finishes at the line is Saunders, so that's a good 3-point play for her. Jen inside. Grant lets it slip right through her hands. Another turnover. Yeah. Sheridan doubles up the lead, 12-6 over the Mountaineers. High hook, bounced out. Another offensive rebound. You can't allow that.
Yeah.
Brathwaite Good work there.
That's the one thing Mohawk needs to improve. Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. If you don't get them, you're not going to win this game.
As we were saying earlier, Brathwaite and Lovat each with over 8 rebounds per game, which is scary. Hewitt has it inside. She's going to put up the hook and misses off the right side. Can't seem to find a rhythm on offense with Mohawk. Saunders takes it inside, wide open jumper, and it swirls out. That was Harper. Jen bounce outside. Rendazzo. Grant chucks one up, another miss. Hewitt's got to put that up, but she doesn't. Inside Jen Bell for 3. There we go. That's what they needed.
Right, exactly. A little bit of consistency on Mohawk's end. That's all they need on offense if they wanted that bad.
4 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Strong rebound there. Rendazzo, but it hits off her hand and goes out. We're gonna take another look at Jen Bella's 3, and that is nothing but net.
Awesome.
So Campbell to inbound off the behind the basket. Another wide open shot there for Harper, but she misses. Another big offensive rebound for Brathwaite, one of their top rebounders. Can't allow that.
Again,
Jen Bella thought about it again. Fisher outside. Rendazzo. Good fight there.
Forcing turnovers and getting rebounds. You know, this team's very scrappy in the early start here.
Inside Brathwaite, trying to post up against Donald. Puts it outside to their Campbell. That's a miss. Somebody's got to get that ball, and they're going to call a jump ball. Good hustle by Samantha Donald to fight with Campbell and get that jump ball.
Samantha Donald, the first-year player, too, so it's good to see coming off the bench they have that kind of scrappiness coming off it.
Precisely. Inbound in. Top scorer, Saunders. Passed it off, took a tip. 2 on the shot clock for 3. Air ball, that's going to be a shot clock violation. That is good defense by the Mountaineers, and that's what they need going forth in this game.
Yes. And you can hear Mike Duffy on the bench saying ball movement, ball movement.
Ball. Grant, left side, Jen. Cuts baseline. Stop, pop, drop. Jen Bella's starting out strong.
Yeah.
2 for 2 now, 5 points.
She's a little spark, that little Energizer bunny coming off the bench, and that's exactly what they needed.
Keeps the drum beating. Love that. Crosses over, but Donald, great work. Duffy, applause. But another strong pass inside, and Brathwaite banks it in with the right hand. Better interior defense would really help Mohawk right now as well. Good defense there by the Bruins to force another turnover.
Sheridan's 3-2 zone is pretty much forcing turnovers on every single possession.
I agree. Lovat takes it again. Left side, Brathwaite. Brathwaite shoots it. That's too strong. Good box out there by Grant. Gets a solid defensive board. Abella taking it up and strong. Finishes with the right hand.
This girl's just too good. Just too good. She's starting off 3 for 3 as well.
So fast.
Yeah.
Almost caused the backcourt violation there. And the floater in. That's a nice shot by Lovat. Good passing there on the offensive end by the Bruins. See what Jen can do right now. Rendazzo inside. Harper. Boom.
Great pass.
Fisher. Excuse me, that's Natalie Fisher.
Yeah.
Right side, Campbell, see what she does. She's calling a play. Coach is yelling go. She wants him to get something going. It's already 5 on the shot clock. If she charges, that's going to be an offensive foul. Great charge take there.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt.
Jeff, she was outside the restricted area, planted her feet, took her over. Easy call for the referee there.
16-15 for the Bruins over the Mountaineers at this time. 1:20 remaining in this first quarter.
And you can hear the coach Duffy saying ball movement, because that's exactly how you beat a 3-2 zone. And that's exactly what Mohawk's not doing. If you got to swing it baseline to baseline if you want to win this game for them.
Group substitution, Douse, Arbor, both Abellas and Grant are on now for the Mountaineers. Jen looks inside, gives it to Douse, inside Arbor. Arbor misses, short. They're going to call that off of the Mountaineers, so that'll be Bruins ball.
Yeah, Saunders with a great play, heads-up play too, dropping it off the foot of the Mohawk player just to get the ball back to them.
Yeah, Saunders, the only fifth-year player. She's from all the way out in Nova Scotia as the football pass gets intercepted by Douse. Grant thinks about it and takes, and she's short. She misses everything, but Saunders with another rebound. Lovat's all the way out. See what Lovat can do. Great take in the chest by Jen Janabella.
Yeah, it looks like she was moving her feet. That's why the referee did not call that play.
But the solid finish by Lovat. You can't allow people to run out like that. 30 on the clock, 16 on the shot clock. Jen with the taped up left hand. Takes the three. That takes the shooter down. That's how hot she is right now. Yeah. That was a heat check, and the basket wanted to go in. It's going to be one shot for the Bruins. There's a trap. They get it into Lovat, though. It's going to be one shot. But Campbell rushes it, gets her own rebound, and finishes with the right hand, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter. At the end of the first, the score is 20-18 for the Sheridan Bruins over the Mohawk Mountaineers. That's some high-paced basketball there, Masood.
Have you noticed no fouls called, no free throw shot either? Crazy to think. And, you know, with Sheridan, they have this 3-2 zone going, and that's exactly what's forcing turnovers and getting them out on the break to actually score baskets. It's crazy to watch. And on Mohawk's end, even though they are scoring, they're not getting turnovers, at least not enough of them.
Yeah, I really want to see the turnover number when we get the stats for Mohawk. They've been throwing the ball away, which is the cause of that 3-2 zone.
Right.
They pass it around the outside, and they end up wasting 15 seconds of the shot clock, and they have to get something going in 9 seconds, 8 seconds, and that's hard to do on offense. But the transition game's been very good for both teams.
We can definitely talk about defense as well, especially for Mohawk, that they're not getting rebounds. Those 3 rebounders for them are absolutely killing Mohawk right now, and they have to improve if they want to win this game.
As we can see, Coach Duffy talking to his team. What's he going to say to them right now? It's got to be about rebounds.
Yeah, rebounds and ball movement. That's how they're going to win this game. Especially, like, again, it's all side-to-side movement where you want to like disrupt the 3-2 zone right now. Because if you do the 3-2 zone and using ball movement, it brings out players out of their spots, and it'll create open shots on the corner so that people can hit their 3-pointers.
They really need to find the mismatches as well. But we're going to take a look at Jen Janabella and how she's been throughout this first quarter. She already has 8 points, which is outstanding. She's 4 for 5 shooting.
2 for 2 on threes.
Yeah, outstanding work by her. But the turnovers, on the sheet it only says Mohawk has 3, but I think that's a little bit off. As we see the shots right here, Jen driving it in, finishing with the finger roll.
And she got her hand taped up in the last game as well, getting injured, and then coming back and having that great performance in overtime, you know, and she's continuing that trend today in this game.
Yeah, and so, yeah, I think the stats are a little bit off. I think definitely Mohawk has more than 3.
Yeah.
But both teams shooting very well. Sheridan shooting 42.9% from the field, and Mohawk 44.4%, so you cannot complain there, Masood.
Yeah.
They've both been shooting very well. You got to get hands on shooters, and the best players for Sheridan have been Samantha Lovat, 4 of 5 shooting, 8 points, so very strong play by her.
3 of 6 for Danique Campbell as well, but I guarantee you right now, the coaches during that break intermission in there, they're not talking about offense right now. They want them to actually lock down defensively.
Rachel back to her sister Jen. Back to Rachel, that's a wide open 3. There you go. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, Sisterton's working well on that play there.
The lead is now Mohawks by 1. Right side Campbell
Just
throws
a turnover
it away.
there, yeah.
It's all those football passes. I'm not too sure what's going on. I think it's the press that's a little bit scary for the Bruins. They're not breaking it as well as they'd like to. They keep chucking it down the field and not finding their intended receiver.
But if you notice, during that first quarter, that's all they were doing, and that's how they're scoring most of their points.
Yeah, they were when they had the one person rushing down the court, exactly. Inside Douse, she gets swarmed.
Another turnover.
That's not the play you want on a 3-2. You cannot go to the high post on a 3-2 zone. That's the thing. Saunders, see if she's going to shoot it. She gives it up. Rizzi, who just came on for the Bruins. Here comes Lovat again. She pushes off. She floats
Still
one
gets
in.
it. Yeah, great play.
Averaging 9.4. She already has over that in this first half. Michelle Bell thought about it. Gives it to Jen Jen. Jen Jen for three. On fire.
That's exactly how you do it. One pass, two pass, wide open three. That's exactly how you beat the 3-2 zone.
That's a good press there, but she's on both sides, so she had to take it to the forecourt. Lovat, nice bounce pass. Rizzi throws up the awkward left-hand hook, taken down by Arbor. Rachel, Jen Jen, thought she was going to stop pop, but she tries to give it to Arbor, and there's going to be a foul call. Good sportsmanship by Rizzi helping up Jen Jen, but that's a blatant foul there.
Yeah, 100%.
Jen Jen to inbound as there's a substitution. Holdsworth comes on for Rizzi.
We'll take a look at another Jen Jen three-pointer. I feel like we're going to say that a lot today, Liam.
We have been already. Yeah. It's crazy. Douse tries to turn and shoot, but Arbor with a strong offensive rebound. Right side, Abella to Abella, back to Jen Jen. Up top, Douse. This is where she has it. Rachel, Jen Jen, again thought about it. She has Rymack, but tries to flow one up. Douse with the offensive rebound and finishes with the right hand.
Douse, their leading rebounder, and that's exactly what you need to do. Box out, get your rebounds, offensive rebounds, and start making plays.
Good press break there by the Bruins as they get it in. Brathwaite. Yeah, a lot of movement here. Campbell. Inside Lobat's taken away by Douse, and she's going to run. Just Rymack in front of her, but she's going to take it herself. Too strong.
Yeah.
Defensive rebound by Saunders, and she chucks another one, and that's a poor turnover there. She had time to get it across half. Inside, Kaylin Arbor wide open. That's an easy layup. She'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Kaylin Arbor from Hamilton. She went to Hill Park Secondary. That's got to be an offensive foul, but no call. Ref was right there as well. Campbell on the left side. Little half screen there. She's going to take it herself, and she's too strong. They're going to say that's off of Brathwaite. Thought that might have touched off Rachel Abella, but no. That's going to be Mountaineers' ball underneath their own basket. Again, this pace will not stop.
Yeah, again, it's and the coaches, I guarantee you, they're not happy about it. They really want to slow this pace down and make it a defensive battle. And, that's what Mohawk's really good at doing, especially with those press breaks every single time down the floor.
Only 2 points for Sheridan so far. A solid 10 in the second for Mohawk. Wide open in the corner. Harimac for three. Too strong. Strong rebound by Donald. Gives it inside. That's Karina Brown. And Karina Brown finishes with the left hand.
Yeah. Great play with the left hand, too.
Back underway. They didn't get across. That's 8 seconds. The clock was at 14, so that's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
No call there by the refs.
And you can see the refs not waving their hand, too, counting the 8 seconds.
They're going to call a shooting foul there.
You see Saunders.
Yeah, a little bit of play by Saunders. Almost knocked over our camera guy, Cole Taylor. He's a good sport about it. Saunders to the line for 2 shots. First one is strong. 66% shooter, so not bad numbers compared to the team's 62%. Hits the second one, so splits them both.
Despite the fact she missed her first one, that was great form on the second free throw.
Rachel Abella, left side. Rendazzo. Wanted to try Mac, but didn't see it. Rendazzo inside. Donald, she got hit. Oh, that's going to be off the ref's foot. I don't like that. Rendazzo, 4 on the clock. Floats one up awkwardly. They got to get something off. That's going to be shot clock turned off. So that's going to be Bruins possession. Good help by Rymack to get the steal. Poor pass there by Rendazzo. They're going to call the foul on Rachel Abella. Denise Campbell will go for 2 shots.
Yeah.
So yeah,
despite the fact with the turnover, she gets it right back and makes a play for herself. Great to see.
Yeah, as you were saying, not a lot of free throws going on in the first, a lot going on in the second so far. First time miss again. 5:47 remaining in the first half.
And you can see Danique Campbell and Shalanda Saunders, they're two most physical players too. You know,
good stroke. Good stroke on that second. Rachel Abella throws it away. Here comes Campbell. Campbell with the Euro step finish with the left hand. Beautiful play. Bella's got to get it across. She does. Randazzo has Rymack in the corner. She wants it. Abella takes a couple left-hand dribbles. Puts it up. Rymack, 5 on the shot clock. Nice. That's kind of a weak pick, but Abella gets the shot. She misses short. Here comes Saunders. Saunders taking it up strong. They're going to call another foul. This time, I think it might be on Karina Brown. We're going to have to see. They're actually going to call that.
Another 2 free throws for Sheridan as well.
Yeah, another 2 free throws for Saunders. So she's been to the line quite a few times. And we're not seeing the foul calls on the offensive end for Mohawk, but we've seen a lot. So that's just the aggressive play of the Bruins. First one's missed again.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to their 2 most physical players. They just know how to create space and create the contact to get to the free throw line.
Second one is up and through. So we've said that a lot.
Yeah.
Abella throws it away again, but she gets it back. Zola. Jen cuts backdoor Rymack, and that's another turnover.
That 3-2 zone is really they're really making Mohawk work on the offensive end.
But what's scary about it is that pass was on the outside.
Yep.
There wasn't even a player near her that she had to throw that ball over. But Rymack's not the tallest girl on the court, and it just overkicked it. Brathwaite right side, wasting a lot of shot clock. Lovat, another high pass, but it's taken down. Brathwaite, she finishes with the left hand. So a lot of baseline work by the Bruins, and it's working well. The score is 30-29 Mountaineers over the Bruins. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this first half. Inside Douse, backdoor cut, they're reading it.
Yep, every single time.
Yeah, you can't get those inside passes. 2 quick passes and a miss. That strong rebound by Rymack after the tip by Douse. Gazzola, 1-2 step, misses. Another strong rebound by Saunders.
There's one of those baseball passes, yeah.
They're going to calm it down. Campbell up top, hands it off. That is a miss by Holdsworth. Genabella. They're going to call the block there.
You can finally see Mohawk finally getting a call their way.
There's actually a call there, yeah. Rachel Abella and Jessica Grant are coming on for Steph Rymack and Brittany Gazzola. Timeout on the court for Sheridan. This is very good action going on back and forth. 30-29 for Mohawk, 3:40 remaining in this first half.
Yeah.
Turnovers. Yeah. They have been the issue this game.
And again, it all comes down to ball movement. If they really want to win this game, they just have to move the ball on the outside and try to find the spots on the inside. Like you keep saying, they always keep going to the high post. Yep. That's exactly what you're not supposed to do in a 3-2 zone. Exactly. One thing, the first mistake you're not supposed to do. But one thing I'm really surprised about is Steph Rymack. She hasn't really gotten involved in the game, especially in this first half.
She's been wanting the ball, as you can tell in her face and her hand actions. Like, she's on the left baseline most of the time because that's her spot.
Right.
But they haven't been giving it to her, which is weird because in a 3-2 zone, as we've been talking about, they're not covering that left corner or the right corner.
Exactly, and like you saw a couple plays too. You saw Rachel and Jen both kind of wave her off and tell her to go in that corner. But even though she goes in that corner, they're not getting her the ball. She needs to find some rhythm, especially going into the second half as well.
The thing I also want to see on this 3-2 zone is picks.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any offensive picks that you need. If you want to get Douse or Karina Brown or somebody in that high post, you've got to pick out someone so she has space. Because I've been noticing when they've been passing around the horn, the 2 players come out towards the corners if that person has it, and then you can just have someone dive down low boom, right there, easy layup.
But you know what? We have to give Sheridan credit. They're actually doing a lot of work on that defensive end to actually force those turnovers, and a lot of baseball passes and football passes, and they're getting easy transition buckets. It's great to see that they're actually making Mohawk work for all the buckets.
As I said at the beginning of the game, Mohawk on a 15-game win streak. They're trying to get it in to Douse, and that is
Mohawk basketball.
Off the Bruins, exactly. Grant to inbounds. See what kind of play they have. They have a line work. Out to Douse. Rachel LaBelle. There's the corner. There's Grant. And there it is. Exactly like we just said.
You want to be successful, you got to. It's all ball movement.
There's that football pass again, and that's wide open for Brathwaite. And she misses. Offensive rebound taken down by Lovat. You got to hit that. You have to.
That was a simple basket, and I guarantee you that White coach is not happy about that play.
Now he's got to expect it on defense. Abella fakes the shot, got the defender on her. Floater misses. Strong rebound by Campbell. Left side, Lovat. Lovat floats one in and she misses. A lot of free defensive rebounds on both ends, off misses. Inside, that's Douse. She's too strong. I think that might have got blocked. They're going to call the foul on Fisher. So that's going to be Bruins ball.
Looks like an offensive foul there.
I think with all these baseball or football passes we've been talking about, I think Mohawk has to lay off the press.
100% agree. Yeah.
Like they've been doing, like when they get into the forecourt, trap them like they've been doing, which has been great.
Yep.
As we might see here. Nope, they already broke it. But they got to stop with the press if they're going to own them like that. And that's a great looking.
They should just stick with their man-to-mans on the half-court offense for sure. I 100% agree.
Nice look shot by Saunders. We're back underway on the offensive end. Rachel, Grant, Jen. Gives it in Douse. Douse gets swarmed. Gives it up Fisher. Grant has the shot. She gets it taken away. That's good defense there by Azar. Azar, 1-2 step, finish with the right hand.
Right. Great play. You know, that's going coast to coast too, making an individual play on defense to actually get it on offense.
Right side, Grant. Thought about the bounce pass. Jen Bell, I think she's going to take it.
Don't
She
leave
does.
her open.
Don't leave her open.
Don't leave her open.
But she misses this one.
Yeah.
There's the press.
I feel like Mohawk has to do, like someone else has to score besides Jen Genabella.
And Shalanda Saunders having a heck of a game. Just finishes strong off the backboard. Sheridan's lead extended to 3, 35-32, minute and a half remaining in the second quarter. Rachel LaBella trying to set something up. Grant. Jen's wide open. She's going to take it again. Weak again. On the floor is Grant, and they're going to call a jump ball.
Yep.
Possession arrow goes to Sheridan. So good work by Campbell jumping on the ground and getting that jump ball, knowing where the arrow was going.
Yep, it's a great play. And again, we can't say enough about Sheridan's defense right now. They're really working really hard right now.
Yeah, Coach DeLay, as I said as well, 23 years, so he's perfected his defense after
Very
all
well
those
done,
years. That's longer than I've been alive.
Yeah, me too.
You've been alive. And he's been coaching at one school for that year.
Yeah.
That many years. That's amazing to see. So he's got to be doing something right.
Yeah.
So we're going into a timeout here. As I said, 35-32 for Sheridan. The ball movement, as we've been talking about, it's like a broken record, but the ball movement is not enough on the outside. And the shots, especially when they get the wide open threes, have to go. If they're not getting it inside to Douse or Grant with a nice baseline shot, but Mohawk's got to find another way to go at it on offense.
Nonetheless, if you look at the score right now, it's only 35-32.
Yeah.
I mean, if they've been there offensively, it's just they have to clean it up. That's all it is. It's just they have to polish it up and clean it up and actually start forcing some turnovers. They have to eliminate those transitional buckets. That's absolutely killing them. Every time a turnover happens, it's a football pass. It's a guaranteed layup every single time.
Yeah, that one miss was kind of poor on the one end, but that's all right. Points per game, 57 points for Sheridan in the entire game.
Yeah.
And they have 35 right now with a minute 14 remaining.
Yeah.
They're playing lights out right now.
Right, they are 100%. And again, it's just I think a Mohawk needs to match their intensity, and as soon as they do that, and it all starts with their two sisters too, because they're their two top stealers. You know, they can go out there, they can make those defensive plays, and actually get them going on offense.
Yeah, Rachel averages 3.6, and Jen averages 2.6. And as I say that, another baseball pass to Lovat, and Lovat finishes again, and Lovat's having a heck of a game.
She's just another one of those players that just comes in ready to work.
Look at the hustle on defense by the Bruins. When the ball's on one end, all 5 players are on that side. 5 on the shot clock, and Jen has a crossover.
What a move.
And almost gets the roll, but Saunders, aggressive rebound, and they're going to call a hold there. That was a little bit of an aggression foul on Jen Abella. And that's going to be 2 shots because now Mohawk is in the penalty.
That was a little unfair too, considering it was Jen against Saunders. You know, you see the size of Saunders. She's a bigger athlete than Jen is. You know, she's a little bit smaller being in the guard position, but they gave it to Sheridan.
What I'm really liking from the Bruins bench was all of them were up on their feet when that defensive set happened. Because that's exactly how you play a press. I mean, a zone and a press. You have all 5 on one end. That's why we got to start seeing some skip passes as well. We got to have four Mountaineers on the ball side, then the one sneaking out around the whole, like all 5 Bruins.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And you know, the coach is getting really into it, especially in those defensive sets. You can tell like that's exactly what he drives in this game.
Saunders splits the free throws again. Bella right side, Arbor inside Donald with a little hook shot. Another miss. It's been a while since Mohawk has scored.
And you'll want a little bit of momentum going into this half. You know, you can't get down like this.
Ball gets thrown away. It's going to be 1 shot going up for the Mountaineers as the game clock is at 24.5 and the shot clock is at 24. The inbound is in. We're going to see if they go for 1 shot. Rachel Bell calms it down just after half. Jen, 14 on the clock. Rachel with Campbell all on her. Beautiful defense. Left side, Arbor, there's a skip pass. Right side, Jen Abella for 3. Misses. Rymack has to put it up, and she didn't know what was saying on the clock, so that shot is not going to count. So at the half, 38-32 for the Sheridan Bruins over the Lady Mohawk Mountaineers. We're going to take a look at some replays. Inside, Caitlin Arbor wide open. Jen Abella floats it up. The miss and dose. There's a long outlet pass there. 1-2, the foul. And we're gonna throw it over to Masood with Jen Abella.
Hey, I'm Masood. I'm here with Jen Abella. You're having a great game yourself, but the rest of your team's kind of, on a little slacking end. What do you guys need to do in the second half to win?
They're not slacking. We're just having good shots. And hopefully they'll come in through, so I have faith in them. But hopefully we can run the ball more. That's all we got.
The 3-2 zone is actually killing you guys. You know, they're forcing turnovers and getting those transitional buckets. You guys have to really clean that up in the second half.
Yeah, we just got to be patient with the ball. We're too frazzled right now, but I think once we start pushing the ball and not let them get into the zone, I think we'll be fine.
And how's the hand doing? I have to ask.
It's good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. He'll be good.
Thanks so much. And we'll take it to the half now.
Of us, not a lot to like on the Mountaineer side, but there's a lot to like on the Bruins side.
Oh my God, 100%. You know, they have 3 other players in double digits right now. You know, that's why you know they can spread the scoring load that way. You know, that's great to see. And you know, you still have Shalena Saunders. You know, she got 10 points and 6 rebounds. You know, she's definitely been their best player by far.
And she's shooting 3 of 5. Samantha Levat, 6 of 8, 12 points, which is outstanding. But on the rest of the stat sheet, nothing very much. But then Danique Campbell, 10 points, 3 assists, 3 steals. That's huge.
Yeah, like 100%. You know, and you can look at the Mohawk side of things too, and you have Jen, who's pretty much taken over the scoring load for the team. 13 points in the game, 5 of 11 shooting. She knows she's having a really good game, and her sister as well, especially in the assist department. 5 assists in that first half. They really have to continue that trend, but also they really have to spread out that scoring load if they want to win.
Yeah, Mohawk didn't go to the line once in that whole first half, and that's an issue.
Absolutely crazy, right? And like you look at Sheridan, and they've been in line how many times now? At least 6 to 8 times in that game.
9 times, yep.
Yeah. And again, it all comes down to like that physicality. You can see it on the Sheridan side, but you see it lacking on the Mohawk side.
As you see, pretty decent crowd here Friday night before Family Day.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, and it's been weird. It's been a weird first half, so I think it might be a Friday the 13th curse.
And also, guys, keep in mind, too, we have a men's game coming up after this, too. This
8
is going to be
o'clock
exciting.
start.
Yeah.
We are back underway. Rachel, let's see what she can get going. Rymack gets it back for 3. That's a good start there for Steph Rymack.
And that's exactly what she needs, especially after that first half. She knows she has to get it going in the second.
Continuing with the press, another football pass, but it works into Holdsworth. Left side wide open is Azar, and she's nothing but net. Abella, outlet pass, beautiful to Caitlin Arbor, and Caitlin Arbor finishes with the right hand. Quick back and forth play starting up. Campbell. She's got a size mismatch against Rachel, but Rachel has the speed. Azar again, that time is nothing but air.
Might have been off a Mohawk player there, but Arf didn't see it.
Gazzola to inbound. Abella takes past the timeline, picks up by Douse. Oh, almost a turnover, but Gazzola gets it. This time it is turned over. It's 10 turnovers for the Mountaineers. Double team coming. Rymack helping out, but good break. Campbell gets it now.
And that was a good double team there to get force Sanders to lose that ball.
Campbell, long distance 2, and that's another air ball.
Some great defense we're seeing from Mohawk in the second half. Awesome to see that.
That's what Coach Duffy must have been talking about, as we said he would be.
Yeah.
Abella takes her dribbles. Strong right-hand dribbler. Finally switches over to the left. Rymack fakes it to Arbor, but it goes out to Gazzola. In the corner, Rachel Abell for 3. She misses. Good box out by Caitlin Arbor. Finishes with right hand.
Yeah.
That's what we need on the offensive end. If you know the shot's not going in, because you can tell off the person's hand if it's not going in.
Yep.
Box out the closest man to you and gain position.
And you can see Caitlin Arbor, too. That's a quick 4 points for her, too, especially starting this half.
And Levat continuing off her strong first half with an easy right-hand layup, and can't allow that. Score is now 42-39 for the Bruins. Just under 8 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Inside, Douse. Douse not strong enough. I think it might have gotten tipped by Lovat. Strong outlet pass. On the floor, gets it to Gazzola. That's a turnover. They're going to call a blocking foul there on Campbell.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a push there on the Sheridan side. That was Danique Campbell with the foul.
Yeah, that is her second. Top Arbor. She'll swing around the horn. She's taking it. Gazzola didn't really see where the basket was. When she saw it, it's too late. She gets off the bottom.
A little too deep there on that layup attempt.
Pokes it loose, but Saunders retains. Saunders using that forearm a lot.
Yeah, I've noticed it 3 or 4 times in the first half.
She gets it inside to Holdsworth. Holdsworth puts one up off the back rim. Arbor's had a strong third quarter so far, and she gets another rebound. Rymack takes it, and the ball gets stripped. That's good work by Saunders there, stripping that ball out, not allowing Rymack to get the easy layup. Sub coming in for the Bruins. That'll be Brathwaite taking off Holdsworth. Brathwaite had a strong first half. Inside Douse. Douse with positioning. she's got to really start hitting those easy layups. She's just trying to throw them up and hoping they go in. I need to see her use some more backboard. That's going to be a foul there on Arbor. Looked like she kept her feet still.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to take another look at that. We're going to see exactly. Nope, she had her left foot up. That's a good call by the refs.
Yep. And again, you can't be moving, especially if you're outside that restricted area, every time. They'll get that call against you.
Campbell's inbound. Outside Saunders. Saunders hasn't shot as much as she normally does in games. She gets it out.
Brathwaite with the three.
Brathwaite, another shot. Bella. Zola top, all the way left side. Rymack.
That's 7 on the shot clock too. They're gonna have to force it up.
Yep. Kaylin Arbor for 3, and almost banks it home, but no luck.
Open shot attempt. You know, you can't be mad with the shot, but you know, it's just unfortunate enough to go in.
It was forced by the lack of shot clock, exactly. But I've seen Kaylin Arbor hit those shots before. Campbell takes it in. Dow stuck up the knee. Not the smartest play there. And I think they're going to call shots. Nope, they're going to call possession underneath the basket.
And you notice the difference between the first half and the second half? It's a much slower game.
Much slower pace. I think that might do with a little bit of fatigue for both teams.
Yep.
But it's working in the favor of both teams, it looks like.
Yeah. Then you know what? They're both kind of scoring, but you know, at the end of the day, Mohawk is still down right now. You know, they have to do a little bit extra to actually get this tonight.
Campbell's inbound again as the first one went back out of bounds off the Mountaineers. Faked outside when all the way. Holdsworth, let's see what she can do. Makes her dribbles, floats it up, she misses. Fighting for the rebound. They're going to call that off Lovac.
You can see the coach getting up too, trying to see if the referee will put the call in their favor.
Rachel left side, Rymack, Donald, Jen Abella to her sister, Rachel. Back to Jen, she fakes it, she floats one up, and that banks home. Banks open late on Friday. Brathwaite, bullet pass into Lovac. Lovac has the first year Donald on her, takes it in. Rymack robs the ball, and her and Rachel are off, and Rymack's too fast, and 1-2, win, rejected! What a block by Marika Azar. I think we're gonna take a look at that again.
That was a great transition play and steal by Steph Rymack, but just
beautiful steal there.
Crisp play, and like you can see her just go right up and like got no chance whatsoever. You know, she's a big body. She's a big body. You know, just outstretched arm and got the great block there.
And while you were watching that replay, there was an air ball there by Jen Abella, so that's why the Bruins have possession. Saunders pushes off and floats one up. Taken down by Rachel. Dribble behind the back is nice. Floater.
Jen.
A hit high off the backboard. Collision by two teammates. Oh my God, nice crossover by Brathwaite. She's gonna calm down and saw 3 Mountaineers. Deep 3, but they're gonna call it travel there. Yeah. That's a deep 3 that she attempted, so it was kind of silly on her.
Yeah, you know, she shuffled her feet a little bit before she took that shot, and that's exactly what the referee saw.
As we hear Coach DeLay call, see turning and bend your knees. You got to get into athletic stance, especially on defense. Randazzo, top Donald. Pick set there by Randazzo, and there's the 3-point attempt for Jen. She misses. Karina Brown fighting around 2 players. Gets it inside Donald. Donald dribbles, takes it up strong for a hit. And that's a loud bench.
You can see Karina Brown, too, absolutely working for that rebound. And great pass to Samantha Donald for that awesome blank shot.
44-41 for Sheridan. 44-43, mind you. There's Saunders taking it in again. She puts the ball too low.
She absolutely loves that push-off.
She does. She's been pushing off a lot, but just subtle enough. And that's a nice looking shot there by Campbell. They're gonna call that a deep 2.
12 points in the game for her.
Rachel to her sister Jen again. Up top, Donald. Randazzo. Cross all the way. Jen, she's got to get it going again, and she does. Strong three-pointer. Game is now tied, 46-46.
Jen coming off the bench, scoring 18 big points for Mohawk.
There's the sister trap. But she gets it out. Nice Euro step, throws up the left hand. That's a miss there by Saunders. Gives it off to Lobat. Lobat misses. Good defense there. Strong rebound by Karina Brown. And Jen Abella gets hit hard, and she will go to the line for 2 shots. That foul goes to Brathwaite.
She kind of flew on that last play there. Look at this. Boom. Ooh.
That's a good collision there. That's good basketball.
Yeah. And she knew exactly what she was doing on that play, you know, just trying to create the contact to go to the foul line.
Second foul for Brathwaite. Jen's first one is up and through. Jen Abella, 74% shooter at the line. And you can see why with those two. Nothing but net.
She thought about it on the baseball pass there.
Brathwaite thought about taking it Tom Brady, throwing it full court, but thought wisely of not. Lovat inside, working Donald, airmail. Big rebound by Jen Abella. Not a lot going right for Sheridan on offense right now in the last couple minutes. Jen, deep three.
That's the girl you don't want to leave
there
open.
There you go. Wow, timeout taken there by DeLay. He is not pleased. He has a stone face right now, and he's a strong-looking man, so you got to listen to this.
And, you know, 5-point lead for Mohawk, too, with Jen scoring 23 of those points. 23 out of those 50. And
they keep leaving her open.
We can't say enough about Jen. We really can't. You know, she's doing everything right now, especially on the offensive line. I spoke to her at halftime, and I even told her, like, you know, she's scoring all the points, and the rest of her team, but she's still scoring all the points.
We're going to take a look at some replays from those. As you see, Jen.
Just a beautiful stroke.
Money.
And I think on Sheridan's side, you know, that's the one player you don't want to leave open. And I keep saying it over and over and over again. You know, you can't leave that girl open, especially the kind of game she's having right now.
And the enthusiasm of the bench has really changed from the end of that second to the beginning of the third. It was the Bruins bench that was up, brouhaha, all excited, getting their team pumped up. But now you can see the Mountaineers really getting into this
And you can see the coach talking to the team right now, telling them, hey, listen, you have to get back on defense. Like, you absolutely, that's the bread and butter in that first half right there, that defense. You know, that 3-2 zone was disrupting them in all different kind of ways. Now you can see, finally, Mohawk getting a little bit of consistency on offense.
And there's our excellent mascot, Mo the Hawk.
I can't tell if he's enthusiastic or not, you know, he just kind of looks like.
Yeah, he's got a really blank face. Maybe it's because he can't move it, but he looks kind of happy. Okay, we're just about underway. As I said, 51-46 for Mohawk over the Sheridan Bruins. 2.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. And about to inbound is Brathwaite, talking to the ref quick. Nice looking shot there. Gets it back. Good press break. Saunders. Good pressure there. In the corner. There's Holdsworth, and it's taken away by Karina Brown. And Karina Brown's rushing the floor. Right side. Jen gives it to Karina Brown. Finishes with the right hand.
Unbelievable. You know what the crazy thing is? Especially in the second half, you can see her really be the difference maker in that. Getting rebounds, getting steals.
Ball took a little bit of a bobble, but it went right to Karina Brown. There's a steal on the defensive end for Mohawk. Gets it into Donald, and Donald finishes with the right hand. This crowd is getting pumped up right now.
Check
Look
out
at this defense. Chucks one up, and that's not going to come down. This defense, this hustle.
Check out the Mohawk bench right now. It's absolutely phenomenal to see that their team's absolutely being encouraged right now. They absolutely love the support.
Now it's a 9-point lead for Mohawk, and that was just over 2 minutes. Now 1:40 remaining in this third. Brown, left side. Jen thought about taking the very deep three, but Shoots the floater, and that's a miss. Long rebound to Lovat. Looks like the Bruins are getting kind of tired. Saunders crossing over. Takes to the heart of the defense. Throws one up. That's awkward. Good work by Donald, keeping it up. Gets it off. Rachel Abella, long pass. Jen.
Great pass, wide open.
Randazzo for three, and she misses. Donald's been hustling on the boards. Can't get this one, though.
Yeah.
Brathwaite takes it. Randazzo, they're going to call the defensive foul. Randazzo almost got it, but smart play by Brathwaite. Taking the Euro step, going to her left, getting hit.
I'll take another look at that.
Right,
yeah, you know, she's moving again.
I think it's kind of smart on Randazzo's point there, too. She hacked her arm after the original foul call, because you do not want an M1 in this opportunity to change momentum.
Right, yeah, and exactly. You know, Mohawks wants to keep this, you know, and with the missed free throw, too, you know, that's a good thing for them to at least get one out of two on this trip here.
Yeah, Brathwaite, it's been a hard time at the line for the Bruins. They keep missing that first shot. Second one is true, though. Rymack up top. Jen has Brathwaite right in her face, but gets it off. Rymack up top. Arbor. Right side, Grant. Grant has it, and that was her shot from last quarter, and nothing this time. Saunders is taking it. She's rushing the floor. Nice pass in. Brathwaite finishes with the right hand. Good pass there by Saunders.
And you know, the bench work, too, especially on Brathwaite, that's 10 points in this game right now.
So that's 4 players in double digits for the Bruins. Rymack right side. Arbor posting up down low. Now Grant posting up down low. 5 on the clock. Jen for 3. Off the front of the rim. It's going to be one shot for the Bruins if they can get it out. And they will. Holdsworth. Oh, right to Rymack. That's not a good pass.
A lot of time to work.
And Rymack misses the layup. 8 on the clock. Strong rebound by Jen. And that is a foul call. Again, good sportsmanship by Campbell there, knowing that she committed the foul and helping her up. So that'll be side out for the Mountaineers. They'll have to make some play go.
And
actually, they're not going to call it side out. Sorry, they're going to be under the basket.
You can see the difference between the first half and second half. Mohawk's a lot more scrappier in the second half, you know, actually diving for those loose balls, both ends of the floor, too.
So, as I said, 5.9. Rymack.
Looks like a foul against the basket, and I don't think they're going to count that.
They're going to call the foul there. No basket, but that was a great-looking shot by Rymack. And that's going to go against Campbell again. She just knocked over Caitlin Arbor. Good work by Caitlin Arbor to take the foul, but Rymack had a wide-open shot, and she drained it. And here it is. Just getting pushed a little bit of a flop there by Arbor, but the Mountaineers will take it. Good camera work, just getting the basket, even though it did not count as well. Grant inbound from the left sidelines. Gets it into Jen. 5, 4, 3, 2. Step back. Off the front right of the rim.
What a difference.
That is the end of the third. 55-49 for the Mohawk Mountaineers over the Lady Bruins of Sheridan.
And you know who the one lady is who's making a difference in this game? Jangela Bella. Boom,
name so nice, you say it twice. Gets it off. Bang, that was the bang money.
Just doing her thing in this game, you know, 23 big points, you know, and if you look at the scoreboard right now, out of the 55, she's got 23 of them, you know, just taking the load offensively for this team. And you know, you expect that from this girl, absolutely getting fired up after each play.
Give me the rock, she's pretty much saying. Why not? Why
just
not?
Killing it. And it's great to see that that hand injury is not affecting her game whatsoever, you know, it's not even a concern so far.
Yeah, it's hard getting hand injuries, especially in basketball. Basketball is hands and feet. That's what it is. If you say you get a pass too hard, right in one of your fingers, especially when you have that hand hurt, that's going to hurt you for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So it's good to see her get it taped up. As you see Coach DeLay in there talking to her. We're going to take a couple crowd shots here. Big crowd right now. They got on the big board. They're all excited. Yeah, Rymack.
Just go crazy, girl.
Pretty packed house here at David Briley Athletic Center in Hamilton.
And like, Sheridan's probably going to step up really hard in this last fourth quarter here. You know, you don't want to make any subtle changes. They have to go what they did, especially in that first half, if they want to win this game.
Yeah, delayed there talking to Holdsworth. They're having a little bit of an argument. Holdsworth's not very happy. He's getting emotional. But that's how it works in basketball. Sometimes you can't agree with everything your coach says, but I think it's the smartest thing too.
He's getting a little frustrated too because they really got away from what they were doing in that first half. You know, they had to keep that consistency going. You know, again, Mohawk took over in that third quarter.
Brathwaite inbounds. Goes to the backcourt. Saunders. I want to see Lovac get going in this fourth if Sheridan can cut this lead. Brathwaite left side. That's for three. Lazar misses short. Jen. Flashing there was Rymack and Grant. Gives it to Grant. Up top, Arbor. Back out. Jen. Rymack for three. Nothing but net.
Starting off well in this fourth quarter.
I'd like to see Saunders get going as well. Another long out with past Brathwaite. Brathwaite into Lovat. Lovat finishes with the right hand, like I was saying. She was strong in that first half and continues it in this fourth.
Yeah, 16 big points for her.
Abella. Grant. All the way left side of Bella. They're wasting as much shot clock as they can with this lead.
And it's great to see that ball movement finally paying off for Mohawk. You know, it's taken a while, but you know, they finally figured out how that 2-3 zone works for them.
Nice jumper there by Jessica Grant. The lead is now 9 for Mohawk, 60-51. Inside, nice bounce pass there. Lovat to Brathwaite. Brathwaite just continues piling up these points. Jen, right side, Grant. Up top, Arbor, left side, Rymack. She has a big three already. Jen cuts baseline, floats one up, too strong. Rymack gets the board, she throws one up, and she's nothing but net again. Rymack's really stepped up in the second half.
Yeah.
Was virtually invisible that first half, but this second half, she's really showing what she's worth. One of the top scorers for the Mountaineers this season.
Kind of got caught up there in that pick.
Saunders for three. Bank?
In.
Did she call it though?
I don't think so.
I don't think she called it, but it still counts in the game of basketball.
That's right.
Not playing horse. Jen Abella left side. Rymack again thought about it. Outlet. Arbor over to Abella. There's got to be someone open. They're double teaming Rymack and Rymack for three. Oh
Give
my
it to
goodness.
her again, honestly. 11 points now in the game.
8 right here.
Yeah.
It's fourth quarter. Brathwaite sees the lane. We saw that lane too. And then the cut back door pass. Rizzi does not finish. 3-on-3 here. Rymack, why not for three? And nothing but net. Steph Rymack is
on
hot.
fire.
That's off the foot. That's going to be
Mohawk
Mountaineers
basketball.
ball. That is a pump-up team for these Mountaineers. Now they are up by 12.
Yeah.
Just up by 5. Then it was 9, 12. That's the reason they put the three-point line in the basketball game. We're going to take another look. Steph Rymack, nobody near her.
And it's
She's in
off
her
that
own
transition to
poster
turnover too, you know. And when you're feeling it like that, you know, it's great to see a wide open three for her too. Like, and you can see the ball movement. Like, it's actually like they work it around, or they finally get a basket.
Rachel Rymack for three. Too strong this time. Karina Brown gets up there and gets her hand on it. But Lovat brings it down, and they're going to call a foul there. I think that's going to be on Kayla Douse or Rymack. We're going to have to see right here.
Yeah, it does look like it's on Jake. Yeah.
She was mad she finally missed a shot, and that's fourth. And tried to get her own offensive rebound, but too much aggression. Rizzi hasn't had too much court time, but gets on here. Here's Azar. Azar, bullet pass into Brathwaite. Ball's on the ground. That's going to be a jump ball, and that will be Mountaineers' ball. That's Karina Brown. Good work helping up Brathwaite.
Yep.
Even though both teams are very chippy, very aggressive teams, whenever a player's on the ground, it's always somebody from the other team helping them up, and that's what you like to see.
Exactly. Great sportsmanship. But you know what? We can look back at the beginning of the game, and those two players I said, especially with my keys of the game, I did say the two players they have to stop were Jen and Steph.
Genius.
Exactly. And, you know, they did a great job with Steph in the first half, you know, but the second half, she is absolutely going off.
Rachel, cross. Here, let's see you again. Rymack, nice stroke. Oh, my goodness, off every side of the rim. Strong
Karina
rebound
almost
there
had
by
that rebound there. That was a great play by her.
Azar got the rebound there. Gives it up Saunders. Saunders loses possession. They're going to call the foul there on Gazzola.
And luckily, they're not in the bonus yet, so you know they're going to get the ball on the end plan, on the end baseline.
5:45 remaining in this game. 68-56. Mohawk Mountaineers over the Sheridan Bruins.
Still standing ovation for her on the bench.
Yeah, standing ovation on the bench. We're going to see the foul again.
In the meantime, Sheridan scores that basket, too.
Yeah, the replay was on. Saunders finishes with the right hand. Brown, left side, Jen. Nice bounce pass in, Douse. Good work there by Lovat to get the jump ball, and that will be possession for the Bruins. Brathwaite trying to get it in, she does. Gazzola tried to cut her off, and gets the steal. Do not stand up, give that ball off, and she does. Great work by Gazzola, and good effort to pass it off.
Saunders slow to get up there on that play. She looks like she might have hurt her hamstring a little bit.
Sorry, that was Janabella with the miss there. Halfway through the fourth quarter. Saunders, they got to get something going, the Bruins, and they do, but there's two Bruins defending each other, it looked like, and Gazzola picks up the rebound. 4 players on the ground there. They're tripping up. There's numbers, and there's Gazzola. Finishes with the left hand.
Great play with the left. Took a little swipe by Saunders there, but still more than enough power to get it over.
And here's that outlet pass. They're going again. That's a little bit too cheeky. That's where we see the tiredness in the bench play. Rachel Abella hasn't had the best of nights tonight. Only 3 points so far.
But 8 assists.
8 assists, that's huge.
That's, you know, and she's
probably more now.
She's working the offense really well, especially at the top of the key.
Saunders for 3, hits off the shot clock. So that's going to be
automatic
dead ball.
Mohawk basketball, yeah.
Automatic, exactly. 12-point lead for the Mountaineers. But the thing to look at it right now for Sheridan, they average only 57 points per game, as I said earlier. They're at 58, so they're above their average against one of the best teams in the nation.
Yeah. You can say 58 for Sheridan, but again, you got 70 for Mohawk. You know, that's almost expected from them. And like you have all these offensive weapons on their team, and they're all kind of shining, you know, especially in the second half, and it's awesome to see.
So it's looking as if the 15-game win streak will go towards 16. I'm not going to try to get the commentator jinx on that, but there's 4:10 remaining, up by 12. Sheridan hasn't really been able to find their groove in this fourth quarter or the second half, to be honest. And as we were saying, 70 points for Mohawk. They average 75, so they're a little bit off their pace, but I think they'll get it by the end of the game.
Yeah, and I think it looks like you said before, it's a little bit of fatigue, but you know they were doing a lot of good things right in that first half. You know, I think they have to go back to that if they want to win this game.
Yeah, for sure. They're still trying the long outlet passes are the Bruins, but it's a little bit too much of the flutter pass, like just like floating it up. You got to get it in strong. You got to get it in hard so your player's cutting towards the basket. You can't just float it up, especially when there's a defender in between you.
And you know, you kind of have to look towards the Sheridan superstar too. You got Saunders. She's got a double-double right now, but again, 4 turnovers.
Yep.
they still, you know what, to me, even though she's not having the best of games, a double-double is still good, but I feel like they still got to pound it to her if they want to win this game. You know, take it to your superstar. You know, give it to her, get out of my way, let me do what I have to do.
What I'm really surprised is, because Saunders is a big body down low, have we seen her down low tonight? No, she's always taking the ball up. She doesn't really seem like a point guard.
Yeah.
Do you see her as a point guard?
Not at all, not at all.
I see her as a big.
And I think because it might be because of the lack of like guards to actually get to the ball.
True.
And I think, you know, she's able to handle the ball with that, you know, being a big body.
They
so
do have
good to see that.
Overall in the average, their height's about 5'6", 5'7", which is very tall for the OCAA.
Especially on the women's end.
Especially, precisely. Inside, Rymack, they're going to call a foul. They're going to call offensive. Rymack put her shoulder down into Azar, and Azar's been quiet but strong. We're going to see it again. Rymack using the truck stick, running over Azar, but Azar made it work and got the foul call. Press.
And then
Azar wide open. Oh, no, one-handed interception by Karina Brown. Gives it off Jen. Looks like almost a travel there, but she gives it off to Rymack. Rachel Abella for three. Short. So yeah, that's 2 games in a row. Rachel Abella hasn't really seen a lot of luck when it comes to shots.
Yeah, but you know what? And it's one of those situations where if you're not scoring, do something else. You know, whether you're rebounding, whether you're assisting, whether you're trying to get the ball.
Saunders
defensively
just chucked up the 3. Ball's on the ground.
Rymack working hard.
That'll be Mountaineers'
against
ball.
Saunders.
Yeah, Saunders there didn't really seem comfortable with the 3-point opportunity. She just chucked it up. It was a prayer.
Yeah, and you know, and again, credit Mohawk for the great defense on that play.
Jen. That's what else we've seen a lot of. The Abellas on together.
Yep.
Which is really helping in Jen deep 3. Rymack, they say Rymack tips the ball out of bounds. I think there might be an injury on the court.
Yeah, it looks like Steph Rymack, as soon as she got the box out, might have maybe tapped, looks like Danique Campbell. She's hunching over a little bit.
They played a lot of minutes, these ladies.
Oh, yeah.
On both sides, but especially on the Sheridan side. After 3, Campbell was already at 30 minutes, and Saunders and Lovat didn't sit off.
Yeah.
Oh, we're back underway. Yeah, you can see Campbell limping right now. I don't think they're going to give her the ball. Deep 3, Brathwaite, strong. There's a big rebound by Saunders. See what she does. Nice handoff to Lovat. Lovat gets fouled. Lovat will go to the line.
You can see Brown a little bit frustrated there, putting her hands up, saying, hey, what did I do wrong? You know, but, you know.
I think that was a good call by the refs.
Yeah.
Refs overall have been very good.
Yeah, very consistent, I've noticed.
Yeah, first half it seemed like they were on the Bruins side. A lot of fouls for the on the Mountaineers.
Yeah.
But it's really evened out throughout this game, and they really started to pick it up. Both are good for Lovat. I think that might be the first trip we've seen to the line
where they've hit both of their free throws.
They've hit both their free throws for the Bruins.
Liam, I think you're 100% right on that.
No. Rachel Abella dribbles. Good defense. Gets it off Rymack. Back to Abella. Smart work by Mountaineers, wasting as much of the shot clock as they can.
But still, 4 seconds left.
3 on the shot clock, and they're going to call a foul there.
Bit of a bailout play.
Yeah.
But, you know, she did drive through, and someone did
that's a smart play by Jen Abella.
Yeah.
We're going to take another look at that. Jen with 3 seconds on the clock.
And this is just Jen being Jen.
Yeah. Just running through the lane, getting whacked a couple times, getting the foul call. So the shot clock gets reset to 14. So that means more time to get killed off. Get it into Donald just barely before the 5-second violation. Rachel Abella takes her dribbles to the right, floats one up, misses. Karina Brown with the offensive rebound. They're going to take it back out, waste another 20 seconds. If Rymack doesn't hit this, but she gets her own rebound.
We've been saying it a lot in that half, but you know what? She's kind of cooled off a bit.
Yeah, she
just
has.
a little bit.
She's had a couple heat checks, and they said no. Donald up top. A lot of wasted time. Karina Brown, good work. Post up. Post up and under with the right hand.
with the right hand too. All she did was just kind of move her pivot foot, go around the left arm there, and just to get the shot there.
12-point lead now for Mohawk. Inside, Karina Brown has been the steals queen of the second half.
Forget steals queen, rebounds queen, just a difference maker on that defensive end, just doing everything she can.
Nice pick there set by her as well. Up top, Donald. Left side, Jen. Faked it in. 5 on the clock again. Let's see if she drives it again. She does. That's a block there, but she gets it out. Rymack off the back of the rim. Gets it off to Azar. Nice backdoor pass. Brathwaite catches it. Gives it off to Azar. They got to look to shoot now. This is the girl that'll do it, Saunders, but she gets it inside to Brathwaite. There's another foul. This time we'll go against Rachel Abella. Brathwaite will go for 2 shots. Brathwaite only a 50% shooter, so let's see what happens.
Yep.
Couple subs made.
She's quiet, especially off the bench too. She's quietly had a really nice game too, so I expect her to hit both her free throws.
Holdsworth for the Bruins and Douse for the Mountaineers come on. First one is wrapped around the rim and out. Second one is up and through. So again, 1 for 1, which really does hurt the Bruins because they were 6 for 11, so just over 50%. But if they had all those free throws made, it could be a completely different game right now, Masud.
Yeah.
Steal there by Brathwaite. Brathwaite's been all over the court. Brathwaite inside, goes right through Holdsworth's hands, and that'll be a turnover. The game clock is at twice the shot clock right now, 48 seconds.
You see Jen and her sister play a lot of minutes together too, and that's...
Up top, Jen now. Jen gets whacked by Lovat.
You see 2 players from Sheridan going over, giving a tap on the back.
Yeah, they're very respectful.
It's great to see. Awesome. And you kind of expect that, especially from a coach that's been coaching in college for almost 23 years, right?
Yeah. You got to maintain respect. You never know when you're going to work with some of these girls outside of basketball. You never know what they're going to be taking in school. That's why you go to college, is to learn first. Yeah. Athletics are second. So you can see these girls that you're playing against in your field, respected field. They could be your boss one day. So what if they're like, oh, I remember that girl. She punched me in a basketball game. She's not going to want to hire you.
Yeah, probably not.
Jakayla Douse gets it. She gets fouled. That's another foul against Lovat. Douse will go to the line for 2 shots.
And one thing I've noticed about Douse, despite the fact they're leading rebounder, she's usually the girl that kind of, pick up that slack, but you see Karina Brown kind of take over that position, which is awesome. Especially from the Mohawk side, they really needed it tonight.
It's good to have 2 bigs that you can cycle in and out like those 2, but that's an air ball. You don't see that every day, but she'll laugh it off. Team's up by 11 with 30 seconds left. But I guarantee the girls will be bugging her in the change room after that. I've airballed from the free throw line in my high school days, and it's quite embarrassing.
Yep.
And your buddies will always remind you of it. Lovat. Nice little jumper, but that's short. Taken down by Brathwaite. Brathwaite, nothing but net. Nice crossover there by Jen to finish off this game.
Brathwaite's been a great sixth woman, I should say, off the game. 13 points for Sheridan.
They're gonna have to get 1 shot off, and I don't think that's a foul, but they did call it, but it looked like it was all ball there.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I'd like to take another look if we can, but if not, it's all right. They're not gonna call that shot, so they're gonna call that shots. A little bit of confusion. So Douse will go to the line for 2. Hopefully she can make up on that air ball.
Yeah, it looks like they wasn't sure if it was like, if they had 5 team fouls or not. So looks like they were definitely over.
Short on the first.
At least it's not an air ball.
Precisely so. Second one is true. It's going to be Sheridan's going to dribble out the game if they don't give it away, which they do to Donald. Do not score here, Rymack. You've got to dribble it out and be respectful. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. A standing ovation for Mohawk. Just an absolutely phenomenal game by them.
we're going to take some all-game replays here. Take a look.
And you see Rymack, absolutely taking over that fourth quarter, and then in the second half in general too. I'll give credit where credit is due, especially for Sheridan. They really did their thing in that first half. Nothing really bad to say in terms of that, but they really slacked. Well, not really slack, but they didn't really do much in terms of in the second half to kind of make up. They didn't really do enough other plays to actually make up for it.
So the final is 74-63 for the Lady Mountaineers over the Lady Bruins of Sheridan. Good game both ways. But
yeah, honestly, it was a really exciting game. Fast-paced, too, especially in that first half. That's the one thing we noticed. But in terms of the keys of the game, they really did try to stop Saunders as best as they could. But you notice she did have a really good game. But again, the 5 turnovers were huge against her. That's one thing you don't want to do, especially when you want to win a game.
For Liam Dunlop and Masood Nazer, we'll be back at 8 p.m. for the men's game against the male Bruins of Sheridan.